What is going on, YouTube? It is Primitive here, and today I'm going to be bringing you the round 1 of the RMC locals that happened yesterday on Saturday the 25th. This is going to be versus Lonnie on the left playing his purple ChaosGallantmon deck, and then on the right we're going to have Alan, who is playing a hybrid between Imperialdramon and Hexeblaumon. Now the camera is at a little bit weirder of an angle that we normally have it, because I have noticed that the camera does move a lot when I do put it at the table at these events, so I did put it at the ground to the side, and looking at it, the angle is a little bit harsher, so I will keep that in mind and change that going forward. But we can still see what's going on here. We have the BlackWarGrowlmon in raising, so can go ahead and promote that and Digiburst if you want. Vmon's gonna swing, hit the Troopmon, but jamming won't do anything. And then Digivolving into X Vmon straight away, so you can unsuspend that other Vmon. Digiburst to play the Goblimon for free, get some nice wide board presence. You probably want to get as many things on board and race, because Imperial can kind of outpace the purple just with the many swings it can get with the Imperialdramon into Imperial. So I could see the going wide strategy being pretty good. You will probably want to swing in sometimes with the other Digimon going into ChaosGallantmon to pop the Goblimon, popping the X Vmon, and then using the effect to resummon the Goblimon. So already have a Mega out just to your opponent's rookie, so you're looking pretty decent. Like I said, you have to race, you're behind on that race, but as of right now you're gonna win the board, just because you'll be able to attack, and then you can unsuspend with the BlackWarGrowlmon ability and just bring the Goblimon right back if you want to. Sora Joe's gonna come out, and that is in effect now. That's something that is probably pretty good versus this deck. The ChaosGallantmon is going to be reviving rookies with no sources under them due to his effect, so Sora Joe will be active pretty frequently during this matchup, I would assume. Lonnie thinking gonna trade into the Vmon, and then the Goblimon will just resummon with ChaosGallantmon once per turn effect. So pretty free there, get to trade and then bring the Goblimon back unsuspended, and then Digivolve a Devimon blocker on top of that. So has a really strong board presence right now, and also playing around the Sora Joe. So like I said, that Sora Joe could be an issue in this matchup, but when you're playing around it like this, it's going to be a slightly dead card. Yeah, you can attack and trash the bottom Digivolution sources, which could be valuable to get rid of the BlackWarGrowlmon underneath the ChaosGallantmon, but I don't think it's going to be that impactful that gaining the couple memory is going to be really anything that's going to bring you back if you don't start to get on board right now, because with the ChaosGallant, a blocker, and a BlackWarGrowlmon coming out, it's not looking pretty good. Just developing a Sealamon, keeping the Gorillamon in the raising, coming out Digibursting, bringing back the Goblimon. No Guilmon in the pile, so we're not getting that extra memory gain, which I'm sure would have been a lot nicer during most of these turns outside of the Goblimon, but still in a pretty dominant position here. There's nothing the blue player can really do. They had those early swings, but with the Devimon blocker out, you're going to be able to at least block one, and anything that does suspend is pretty much open to getting swung over very easily with the ChaosGallant or the BlackWarGrowlmon. Going to swing with ChaosGallant, use the effect of BlackWarGrowlmon to unsuspend, try deleting the Goblimon and then bringing it back. But as we saw there, did die in the security check to the Blitz Omnimon, so ChaosGallantmon did kind of get some usage there, but getting it shut down a little bit early will give the opponent a little bit of a chance to get back. You do have another BlackWarGrowlmon on board, so if you can just develop another one and then pop your Goblimon to pop the opposing Sealamon, you're also just once again in a pretty good position, but losing your Mega to a security check isn't super amazing, especially when you're so far ahead. The mat does bring back the ChaosGallant though, so it's already threatened for next turn. You might end your turn by Digivolving into it, but being able to pop one of your opponent's Digimon is fine. Swinging, and then we'll be trashing the bottom Digivolution source of a level 4 or lower, so the Devimon will lose its Goblimon source. So I think we're thinking about blocking right now. Gonna let it through, hits ChaosGallant, so the Gorillamon will go down. Not even close to being able to swing over that, and then hard play the Blokomon going to 1, Digivolve into the Sealamon. So it's good to have that inheritable on board, so you can at least gain some potential memory going forward. Gonna slam down double Hammer Spark, going to 2, and then playing Elecmon, Digivolving. So just trying to get more blockers on board. We have 3 blockers, so I mean that's a lot to protect you. One of them will die when the Chaos Gallant comes out, and just pop the Gabumon for free. However, if you do that, you're just going to put your opponent at 1, and then they're going to go to 3 with Sorajo, so it really depends on how much memory you want to give them, because you could potentially Digivolve on top of some things prior, like the Gazimon and the Raising, before you go into the ChaosGallantmon. But with your opponent gaining 2 memory anyway, putting them at 1 so they go to 3, I guess is a little bit better than putting them at 3 going to 5, but without knowing the purple player's hand, it's really hard to tell how much memory you should put them at. They have seen that the blue player has been pretty much far behind this entire game. They haven't gotten a single ultimate out, so they either don't have an ultimate in hand, or they just haven't been able to safely get it in and have just been going for more of a rookie rush aggressive style of play. So purple, considering what to do here, going to Digivolve into the Chaos Gallant, popping Gabu, popping Grizzly. Gabu comes back. Now, the turn passes over to the other side, but with the Chaos Gallant on board and the mat and the blocker, the purple side is just so set up for the later game that as long as they don't die, you're going to be in a pretty good position. Blue does get rid of the Sorajo for the Lobomon to cycle, so that does show that, one, the hand is not super amazing, but also Sorajo is now offline, so the amount of memory gain that the blue player is going to get is very low unless they play Davis right here. They will likely get choked a lot. Playing another Hammer Spark to swing, paying the 2, lives with the Troopmon. So at 0 memory, so they can swing with the Sealamon once again. We'll end the turn, and then both of them will get swung over. Going into the Dino B, I think that's a relatively smart play. If you go to 3 next turn, then you can swing, and then you can unsuspend and swing again. But also with the 3 memory, if you just play another rookie that you can use to pop for ChaosGallantmon's effect, you do just have the 4 swings to be able to go for game. Your opponent can't Hammer Spark and end your turn because you have the Gazimon on board, so it'd have to be Kakaida's Breath. I'm not sure if that's in the list. It's probably something you want to consider thinking about, but you can just go for game. Swinging with the Gabumon, which makes me think that it wants to go for game, does swing. The Gabumon dies, and it restands. So actually, now that I think about it, you didn't even need the other rookie, because the Gabumon just comes back after it died in security and was able to swing with the ChaosGallantmon's Blackboard Growlmon inheritable. So a little bit of a cut right there because the camera did get bumped a little bit, so I had to get reset up. So as you'll see, there is a little bit of a different camera angle. Shout out to the players for setting up the camera as it got tipped, because I was playing my match, so I didn't know this happened. But the blue player did go first and hard drop Sorajo, putting the opponent to 4. And now we see the blue player Digivolve all the way up into the Blackboard Growlmon, putting the opponent at 1 through the 2 to Digivolve champion. Blue player just straight passes turn, no rookie, just a Sorajo, gonna Digiburst, play the Guilmon. Sorajo pressure is technically back, so you may want to consider Digivolving on top of one or both of these, so that way you can play around Sorajo. But as we saw, your opponent is not only passing turn and has no rookies, so they don't really have the most threatening hand. So I think giving them the 2 extra memory for 1 or 2 turns isn't the most ridiculous deal. But Magidramon's going to come out, and Mill 5 can swing and pop the Guilmon to unsuspend to gain a memory. And then if it dies, I'm sure there's a Gallantmon in there somewhere to be played off the Magidramon. Oh, actually, you couldn't have done it there without the Mat Tamer there. So it's actually surprising that went for the attack into security without the purple Tamer out, considering that it was going to get played anyway. I feel like it might have been a little bit safer to play it and then start going in for some swings, so that way at least if it dies you could get the Chaos Gallant out. But did work out either way. The only thing you're really going to die to in security as the Magidramon is going to be one of the Megas, which with looking at the opponent's hand may just be filling their hand right now, because they aren't really playing anything, no rookies, just hard playing the champion and Sorajo, so they might have a champion filled hand. That's something that's probably on Lonnie's mind. You can kind of tell what's going on here, and also the opponent is very expressive when playing, so I'm sure Alan has told Lonnie multiple times if his hand is bad or not. So It's not looking super amazing. Is able to get out into the Imperialdramon, which is some good offensive pressure. You can potentially Digivolve into the Imperial, get a bunch of swings in, and start to actually get on board. As of right now, with only having no security, actually, it's just not looking too good. Gallantmon's going to come out for free after the Megidramon swings out all security, so the Imperialdramon came, but potentially a little too late. The fact that your opponent's at 5 security makes Imperialdramon just a little too late when you're at 0, and then the Millenniumon's going to come out, put Imperialdramon to the bottom, and then the blue player is going to forfeit. So that was round 1 of the Store Championships. I hope you enjoyed. I might not be able to get all the matches up in one day like I normally do, because I do have 2 Store Championships as well today. So as much as I will have the content up soon, it may be a day delayed, but I'll have so much Store Championships content coming up over the next few days. So if you're interested in that, make sure you like and subscribe, because I'll be back with more Store Championships matches as well as deck lists. So with that being said, I hope you have a great day. Peace out.